Thanks for joining us. Today we are talking with Irene, who can name a restaurant with just one or two clues. She loves ice cream. She eats it every night because the calcium's great for your bones. Her favorite is mint chocolate chip. She's done a few scary things and taken a few risks, but she'll never tell us. She wishes she was from Philly, and today she's going to share about her favorite city, Philadelphia. So welcome.
Thanks. I'm so happy to be here today.
Welcome, Irene. So we're going to set our 7-minute timer and get that started. And so can you just tell us a little bit about what brought you to Philly?
So people are surprised to hear that even though I write books about Philadelphia, that I'm a Philadelphian by choice, not by birth.
Okay.
I've lived in Ohio, Michigan, Virginia, North Carolina, Pittsburgh, then Philadelphia.
Okay.
But I've been here a good long time. I moved here in 1991.
Oh,
and I immediately started working for the Philadelphia Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Oh.
And my job was to give tours to travel writers.
Wow.
To show them all the delightful and surprising things here. And they paid me for that.
Wow, that's fabulous.
I know, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's where I learned all the secrets of Philadelphia. And then for the last 20 years, I've had my own PR firm. I specialize in restaurants and hospitality. So that's where I learned all the tips that I write about.
Oh, that's
So
great.
I got to know the city really well. Even though I wasn't born here in the city, I feel like a Philadelphian.
Right. And that segues perfectly into food, because Cindy and I love to hear about the restaurants and the food. So share with us some of your favorite places to eat, or if there's unique places. Tell us about the food.
So Philadelphia has a couple of things that make our food unique. We were founded by William Penn, and he announced that Pennsylvania would have freedom of religion. So that brought people from all different nationalities, all different countries to Philadelphia. So we have great ethnic food, which is wonderful. Also, because of William Penn and the Quakers that founded Philadelphia, we have very antiquated liquor laws. So the chefs in Philadelphia have made limoncello out of lemons. And what that means is that our city is full of BYOBs, restaurants where you can bring your own bottle.
Wow.
So you save money by bringing your own liquor and you don't have the markup. You can work your way through your own liquor cabinet if you have great bottles of wine you want to use. And it makes it more affordable for chefs to open restaurants because they don't need a liquor license necessarily.
Right.
Which means that more chefs, more family-owned restaurants can open in Philadelphia.
That's amazing.
Some of our chefs have begun to win James Beard Awards. Philadelphia is getting a lot of notoriety for its restaurants right now. And now we are seeing like John George von Grichten, who's an internationally known chef who's coming to Philadelphia to open a restaurant in our new Four Seasons. Oh. So there's a lot of Philadelphia restaurants.
Yeah. So tell us something that surprises people about Philadelphia that people don't know, or that when you have shared the city with folks, what surprises them?
Well, Philadelphia is a very authentic, gritty, real city. What you see is what you get. People think we're all about cheesesteaks, and we do love our cheesesteaks. There is no question about that. In fact, I have a tip for you about cheesesteaks.
Okay.
When you eat one, you do that standing up, of course. You always want to lean forward, because they're very drippy and you do not want cheesesteak juice on your shirt.
No.
Good tip.
But I think especially about restaurants, people are surprised to hear that we're far more than cheesesteaks.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So what are some of your favorite spots in the city to take family and friends when they come visit?
Well, one of my favorite things to do, when William Penn designed Philadelphia, he had 5 original squares. One of those squares is Franklin Square. And there's a putt-putt there. And the obstacles that you golf around are Philadelphia icons. There's a Liberty Bell and an Independence Hall. and the Art Museum steps, which you might know as the Rocky Steps, and a Chinese friendship gate. So I suggest, especially if you have kids with you or teenagers, play putt-putt at Franklin Square. Then, and take us a picture next to the kids at each of the icons. Right. Then go to the real things for a second picture. And suddenly your teenager is dying to go to the Liberty Bell, dying to go to the Chinese Friendship Gate, and Alfred's Alley, which is the oldest continuous street. And when you put those two pictures together, you have a great Instagram post.
Yeah.
Suddenly you have a very cooperative teenager.
And you create a little story.
Yes. And there are lots of other only in Philadelphia things here, like Reading Terminal Market, which is a 100-year-old farmer's market that's underneath the convention center. And you won't find any chains there. It's all family-owned kiosks. Some are prepared foods, and some are fresh produce, meats. It's used by locals, conventioneers, and tourists. It's the place you might want to go if you want to try a cheesesteak, or if you want to get freshly baked cookies, or Greek, or Italian. Wow. And it has it's authentic. There's an ice cream maker that's been there since it opened 125 years ago. It's still run by the original founder's great grandsons. So that's a place that is a must do in Philadelphia, and only you could do it in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Only. That sounds amazing.
And of course we have our history.
Yeah, and you were talking earlier about how it's a gritty city and it's a real city. So most large cities have different areas and different neighborhoods. If somebody's coming to Philly, can you tell us about the different places and maybe how to navigate those different sections or areas of the city?
Sure. The great thing about Philadelphia is we have everything, but it's all walkable. Oh. So Center City is sandwiched between two rivers, and all the streets from river to river are numbered, and all the streets from north to south are trees. So it's about a half an hour walk from one river to the other.
Oh no!
Just when we were getting it. That's
when we were getting the land. I was like, oh, I know. But what a fabulous city. Oh my gosh.
Well, not only do I need to go back to Philly because I've been a couple of times, but now I need to eat. So, because you've made me hungry talking about cheesecake and all the food.
It is sort of just past lunchtime, so I guess I'm guilty.
It's okay. Those are great stories, right? Absolutely good. Beautiful. That's the kind of thing we're looking for, Irene. And so that's our 7 minutes. And so we're going to close it out. We have a new question and answer series that April and I are doing. So if you have questions for us about travel or anything, just there's a link in the description below. Click on that, ask us our questions, and we'll answer them on a future episode, and travel with us through real stories from real people. Thanks, Irene.